party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast, where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I am joined by Laura Tutu for a game of Elegy. You know Laura from their award-winning work with Queen's Court Games, performing in what I genuinely think is some of the best actual play stuff in the last few years, including, of course, the All Night Society, a massively award-winning Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle following four neonate kindred as they navigate the murky waters of Chicago politics, or the similarly award-winning Harlem Hellfighters Never Die, in which an all-black cast of Harlemite investigators tackle the mystery of a series of close-knit attacks against their close-knit community. Laura is very much one of those performers that the second that I see their name attached to a project, I know it is 100% something to pay attention to. It is simply some of the best actual play stuff out there, and I was so excited for us to sit down and play a game together. You can find links to all the things that Laura is working on in the show notes. Elegy is a solo vampiric role-playing game about surviving the big city nights as a vampire. You feed to keep your fury at bay, play a role in maintaining the secrecy of the vampire society, create deep bonds with other characters, and fulfill promises to make your unlife meaningful to you. The game is based on Ironsworn, which, if you've listened to the show, you know is one of my favorite games of all time, and it takes that game in some really interesting directions and really, brings that vampire premise into light in a really, fun and engaging way. I had a blast with this game. I can't wait for you to hear it. You can find more information about Elegy in the show notes. A quick shout out before we jump in. Thank you to Greg Mazzina, our newest backer on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the show, as well as all of the other things that we work on in a given week and month and year. Patreon backers get access to exclusive bonus content such as Batman Bump in the Night, which is the Batman fan fiction actual play that my good friend Martin and I produce, as well as Party of One Says Go Birds, which is our weekly live show at Unity Java in Philadelphia, as well as bonus episodes of Party of One and a bunch of other cool stuff. You can find more information about all of that at patreon.com/JeffStormer. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I was already excited, and then we just spent the last half hour building the most buck wild scenario that I could possibly comprehend. So, now I'm giddy. I'm sitting down with Laura Tutu. Laura, thanks so much for being on Party of One.
I'm so happy to be here, Jeff. Thank you.
I'm so stoked. I'm really excited to get to play a game with you. I think this is going to be a really cool and wonderful experience. But before we get into what we are playing today, why don't you take a moment to let our lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want them to know about?
Oh, for sure. Hi, hello, good evening, folks. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. 9 times out of 10, you can find me hanging out with the folks over at Queen's Court Games, where I play a whole lot of vampire. And that continues on most of the channels that I show up on, including but not limited to Magic RPG and Folk and Myth. So those are the folks that I kind of run with right now.
And it's funny that you say that. The thing that has kind of been most, the work of yours that is most recently in my head, in part because it's been circulating the WebFest circuit, and also because it knocked me off my feet. And also, I'm just excited to get to say this to you in person and also on mic, is that congrats on winning awards around Harlem Hellfighters Never Die, which was a Queen's Court production that it's very, very close to my heart.
Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy. Thank you, Jeff.
I love that actual play a lot. It just, every time I see it, every time I think about it, I get more and more excited. But yeah, I'm a big fan of your work. I'm a big fan of all of the stories that you tell. And I think today is going to be no different because we are, you mentioned playing vampire stories and then you said the phrase not limited to. I really thought you were going to say not limited to this episode of this podcast that we are about to play in. Because we are playing Elegy, which is a vampiric role-playing powered by Ironsworn. Basically, we are going to tell a vampiric story in the big city. Let me ask you this. What are you excited to play through this week? What's got you fired up? What are you bringing to the table? What are you looking to get out of the game?
The fact that we just sat down and built out this really badass vampiric but sci-fi coded story, that's gonna be dope. I'm really excited to get through this. And also I love different flavors of vampire story. There's so many different versions of the lore of how the creatures of the night came to be, and I love diving into all different versions of them.
I do too. I really do. I love that sense of we have an agreed upon bit of lore, and then getting to really like stretch as far outside of that dynamic as possible. Another thing you appeared in that like is also one of my favorite games ever. When you were listening to the my nemesis naming his game has again spited me, but Bloodbeam Badlands vampires in the post-apocalypse fucks real hard.
I love that system so much. It was so cool.
It's so cool. It really makes like the fact that it just casually is like, oh yeah, there's a dinosaur with a gun for a face. That's just the thing. It's so great. But that sense of like we understand the lore, we understand the basics. Now let's like really like run with it and kind of like see what happens when you twist dials is always gets me very, very excited, and today is no exception to that. So I'm going to introduce a little bit about the world that we're in, and then we'll have you introduce your character, and then we'll dive in. So I think what we see when we open is a montage of what starts as print documents, turn of the century, medical papers and diagrams, all kind of black and white on sepia, worn down, torn papers of like blood cells that we kind of see them turn over time into microfiche and projector slides and turn into like black and white broadcast footage of journalists explaining the widespread, inexplicable virus and the various iterations that it has taken of the vampire virus. We see it evolve from like a big question mark of, is this a thing that is real, to experts talking about how it has changed and evolved, into talking about it really like as a fact of life. And this sort of like, we see very almost the touchstone in my head is almost Pacific Rim, the way that you watch that sequence of how the world has adjusted to kaiju. We see that same kind of thing of like how the world has adjusted to the presence and prevalence and almost mundanity of vampires.
Jeff, I love Pacific Rim so much. It is one of my favorite movies.
I'm so happy to hear this. This makes me so happy. Side note, I have a game to send you after this recording that I think you're going to love. But that's neither here nor there. So that's the world that we live in. It is a little bit in the future, the day after tomorrow. We see the city of Santa Maria, which is... let me ask you this. What's the city visual that pops into your head? What's the aesthetic? What's the first city aesthetic that pops into your head as we build out this city a little bit?
Underworld.
Great.
Yeah.
Big towering skyscrapers. Kind of that almost endless city visual of like it's just buildings as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
I like... This is a really specific Philly thing that I may have talked about on the show before, but like stands out to me as a thing that like a visual that I love, but also a trend that I hate, which is like Philly is a lot of it is like very old buildings. They are old, some of them are hundreds of years old. And in the last like 5 years, they have had the largest LED billboard panels placed on them, these gigantic neon TVs.
Yeah.
And that aesthetic of like blaring neon light on top of like centuries old buildings and like old time construction is a visual that I think is very locked in my head.
Yeah.
So that clash between old building and bright neon garish technology and advertising.
Oh yeah, it's like a bastardization of like the cityscape, but at the same time it is kind of an excellent vibe for something like this.
It does have a good vibe to it for this exact story. So amidst this world, we are seeing the streets and the neon lights of Santa Maria. Tell me, introduce your character and tell me where we find them on like a pretty ordinary night as they are coming back to their apartment after a successful job.
We would find Max with their shaved head sort of bowed against the wind and the drizzling rain. The collar of their trench coat popped up to keep as much of the cold from slithering down the back of their neck as possible. Like any good vampire, head to toe in black.
Sure.
The combat boots are combat booting. And there are hints of tattoos that crawl up their neck, and they are powerfully built, medium brown skin, brown eyes, the kind of person that definitely has a fighter's background to them. Not quite like, the old school boxer with like the cauliflower ears, but you could definitely see them like throwing down in some kind of an octagon ring.
For sure. Where are you coming from? Like, what is Max's job and or the job that they have just taken? Do they have steady work? And if not, what have they been working on?
Max is a bouncer.
Sure. Classic. Which means that if you're coming back to your apartment, it is genuinely probably 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, it is no longer dark out, like the sky is gray, like it is the sun is just barely over the horizon. World building detail, I think, given the vibe that this is like a virus, I think it is something where I don't think it's lethal. I don't think sunlight is lethal. I think there is a sun sensitivity that I think is very compelling, but like so like that light is just starting to come in. Maybe Max is just starting to feel like the slightest bit uncomfortable. But like you're making your way back. The first few commuters are kind of starting to like get out onto the street, and you make it back to your apartment. What is the sign that Max notices that their apartment has been broken into?
It's the chipped wood next to the deadbolt.
Yeah, and I think it's what I think is really what is compelling and appropriate is that like there's the chipped wood that's there, but the door is also closed. Like this is clearly someone has broken in and then made an effort to make it appear that that the door that like there was not a break-in.
Exactly. Because that's a trap.
This is the most that's a trap that I think anyone has ever looked at.
Yes.
How's Max reacting to this trap?
Max is going to pause and stare at their moderately busted apartment door with a sigh of sort of resentful resignation. And as they move forward, I think they crouch and pull a knife, like a switchblade, from the side of their boot. And they do that thing that you're trained to do when you have a very specific skill set, where they like press their back up against the wall right next to the door.
Sure.
And like reach back to open it.
And I think genuinely as you open that door ever so slowly, like there is this long moment of silence, and then from the other side you hear an intensely familiar voice to Max, an old man, just say, "You can do the theatrics or you can just come in and say hello."
How many times have I told you to stop breaking into my place?
How else? And as you we see I don't know why this is the thing that has been stuck in my head and why this is the direction that I feel like I have to go for this character. Jacked J.K. Simmons. Any of the Jack J.K. Simmons photos that have been circulating on the internet. We see Jack J.K. Simmons in military, like a military jacket, sitting on Max's couch. One combat booted foot up on a table.
Fucking rude.
Rude, right? 1 foot on your table. This is a question for, this is when I tell you this is the most important character question that I think we will address all day. One of your connections is your dog Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
How does Chandler act around? Like, what's Chandler's personality? How does Chandler act around people?
Chandler is generally chill. Like not super reactive when it comes to other people to a point.
Sure.
There are times I feel like Chandler is the kind of dog that like generally kind of likes everybody and is real happy to get scritches, but is also a very good judge of character.
Sure. Which tells me that I think I think genuinely, to my great delight, I know exactly how Chandler is. Like, exactly what I was hoping you would say to give me the visual that I wanted. Chandler is sitting on this man's lap, getting scritches, the happiest, because obviously this is someone that Chandler has met before. This is your former commanding officer in the military, General Sanderson Le Guin. General Le Guin is like commanding officer, retired. This is someone that you are very, very intimately familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's just a big beard, bald head, just kind of sitting back like, I need to know that you are that your senses are as sharp and your reaction time is as good as it's ever been. And so what better way to do that than to see how you would react to a common home invasion scenario?
One of these days, old man, it's gonna get you killed.
I think I got enough tricks to survive. And he gives some extra hard scritches onto Chandler's ear, kind of like gently puts the dog aside, stands up, flexes the muscles, and I think comes in for an embrace. How does Max react to that?
Straight armbar to the chest.
Sure. Kind of pushes back like, sure. Understandable. How's work? How's life? How's life on the outside?
I deal with drunks and idiots 9 times out of 10, but at least I'm not getting shot at.
Do you miss it?
What, the constant borderline fear that something's going to come around the corner and take my head off?
Yes. I thought that was clear what I was implying, yes.
No, sir, not really. It may not be glamorous, but at least it's mine.
And then kind of like he almost facetiously a little bit kind of like shrugs and slinks a little and says, all right, so then you don't want a profitable job that might involve a little bit of danger but involves a hell of a paycheck, hell of a lot more than you're making throwing drunks out of your drunk tank every night.
What do you want?
That's fine, I'll find someone else.
What do you want, old man?
And he, I think his back to you, we see the most shit-eating grin imaginable. The most, devilish, I knew this would work grin. Spins forward. I got a job. I've been approached.
Mm-hmm.
This is... And I think he takes a badge. He takes it's an army patch. He takes an army patch of a battalion. He takes his army patch and he throws it on a table. He's like, strictly freelance. I'm retired. You are whatever you prefer to call yourself. Strictly a freelance gig. No affiliation with our military or any previous organizations that you and I were a part of.
Mm-hmm. You mean the organizations that don't technically exist?
See, you can never truly forget, and that's what I respect about you.
What? Fine. What? Shit.
Fully, giddy is the only word I can use to describe his demeanor at this moment, as he's kind of walking around. He's got his hands kind of crooked in front, his fingers kind of crooked in front of himself, and just kind of ever so slightly rubbing his hands together. A call has been put out. Someone, probably an associate of yours. I mean, you run in the bar scene.
Mm.
I don't know how closely you get to the 1%er clubs. I don't know how closely you get to the rich fucks, but bar club owner. It is the collective decision of a group of us that she's got to go.
I'm sorry. Are you asking me to off somebody?
Well, I wasn't going to put it quite as bluntly as that.
When have you ever known me to tap dance around the subject, sir?
First off, I'm retired and you're whatever you are. You can drop the sir. Secondly, I haven't heard a no yet. Precisely. And he kind of steps back and kind of adjusts his jacket. He reaches for a remote. He turns on a TV and there is a report about a break-in at a local museum of some old, a lot of old exhibits, nothing it seems like it was a bit of a smash and grab, and he just kind of is watching. She has a very old mummified hand, petrified, that is, well, let's just say it was locked in a museum for a reason, and that's because a group of us, again, collective decisions for the good of the community, decided keeping it under lock and key was the safest possible option.
Is she a bad person?
She is. I mean, we're all bad people. I don't think any of us can really judge.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. She has been known to run with the friends of Dracula.
Shit.
And I think the friends of Dracula are exactly what it sounds like. This is a concept that we had talked about in the world building segment, but this is fully it is exactly what it sounds like. It is the people that said, hey, if I'm going to be a Dracula, I'm going to be a Dracula.
Yeah, so fucking cult shit is what you're telling me.
It is less cult shit and more the rich and powerful, I guess the cult of capitalism, I guess, is also a cult, but
Jeff, you said the magic word.
We got there. We knew it was going to happen. We got there. It is people with money and access who said, now the walls of reality aren't going to apply to me. So, time to get freaky, time to get violent, and time to indulge in everything.
Yes. Hate him.
The Bacchanal is 24/7, and we don't know exactly what she is going to do. It could be she just saw something that was rare and locked away and said, I want it. That is a calling card of her and her associates. Ideally, in a perfect world, we could go, collect the hand, bring it back, drop it off. No one sees anything, no one says anything, and we have a pleasant conversation with this wealthy, sadistic person who believes themselves exempt from the rules of both reality and society. Yeah. Certainly, that is the likeliest outcome. I think you and I would both agree. That shit-eating grin is fully back on his face.
Max just kind of glares at him. I thought I was done.
You can be. This is a job. This is something that this is an accepted deal. I am no longer your commanding officer, and you are no longer part of a military unit. You could tell me to fuck off right now.
I mean, I'm probably going to tell you to fuck off anyway.
Sure.
But I have heard and seen what Dracula's friends are capable of. Rich folks are bad enough, but rich fucks with excessive power and ego, well, it's only going to make things worse.
This is a chance to do good. And he seems uncertain about the application of that word more than anything. Or as close to it as I think any of us can claim these days. And it doesn't have to end the way that I think you and I, in the backs of our minds, know that it will. If we could get the hand back, that's the priority. I have a feeling she's going to complicate that assignment and add extra objectives to the mission dossier, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I need someone connected enough to get into her space and tough enough to blast their way out of it if it comes to that. Seemed like there was only one person in my Rolodex that fit the description.
And Max kind of like sighs, does that thing. Like the sigh is such that it actually kind of rocks their head back. Mm-hmm. And they like stare up at the water stained ceiling. But they look back at their former CO and just, I fucking hate you.
There's a reason that I only come by when I can break in.
Yeah. Fuck you. I'll do it, but still fuck you anyway.
I wouldn't expect anything less. And he reaches in his pocket, grabs a little like roll of saran wrap, unwraps it, tosses a piece of bacon to Chandler, and walks out the door. I think there is a folder sitting on your table with all of the detail.
Mm-hmm. And I think Max also looks at Chandler and narrows their eyes and just mutters, "Traitor."
Chandler's having the time of Chandler's life. Like they are unbothered.
Chandler has bacon. That's all that matters.
Yeah, unbothered. Fanu Colon is a bar owner of, I think it is very specifically, I'm going to give the general vibe, and I think I want us both to throw in a detail of it. It is a mob bar, but I don't think it is a mob bar that is like, it is not a mob bar that is tied to a particular mob. Like this is very specifically known around Santa Maria as the neutral ground spot for like meetings of crime families. Like this is the neutral ground spot. What's the first detail, visual, aesthetic, or otherwise that pops into your head when we picture this bar?
It's a lot of dark polished wood and like brass on the bar itself.
Yeah. I like
one of those places.
Yes, it is very much, and it is very, the detail I want to throw in, it is very, this is just insufferable. They don't have a menu.
Oh God, I hate them already.
Don't have a menu, but like they have a menu, they just don't print a menu, and they just kind of trust that you if you are attending are going to know what is going to be available. Like there's a pretension within the menu that I think permeates the entire restaurant.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
And so you have been given the very specific assignment of infiltrating this bar, this club, this space, getting close to Fanu, and through any means necessary, getting that hand back.
Great.
What is Max's strategy?
Well, the nice thing about being generally freelance as a bouncer is that sometimes the rich fucks also want someone of a particular height and build and temperament. And it's real easy to look big and intimidating because they will expect you to have nary a brain cell to rub together.
For sure.
And then they tend to talk a lot.
For sure. Let me look at, I think I'm going to call this a role. I think this is a role to get hired very specifically. And I think this is very specifically a glamour role to try and like make those connections. I will add +1 to this because exactly as you're saying, like you fit the aesthetic of a bouncer, and so it's more just about like getting your name and photo in front of somebody who is going to get it in front of somebody who's going to get it in front of Fanu, to like give you the picture, to be like, oh yeah, Max, they're the person, they're the bouncer. So what this is going to be is you're going to roll 2d10 and you're going to compare it to your glamour score of 6.
Okay. And Jeff, do I add those together?
No, they. So how this works is they are each a standalone value from
Got
1
it.
to 10. You want to exceed a 6 on both of them. If one of them is under a 6,
Got it.
that's a weak hit. If both under 6, that's a strong hit.
Well, one of those was a 9.
Great.
The other one's a 5.
Okay, so that's a weak hit. So this means that it goes off, but it okay, I know exactly how this is going to work. This is great. That is a weak hit, which means it works, but at a cost, and I know exactly what that cost is. You have been, you talk to, who is the owner of the bar that you work at most regularly? Give me a detail about Murray, who is the owner of your go-to night job bar.
Murray. I'm picturing like the oldest, crotchetiest, like Southie Boston Irish kind of dude that you've ever seen. And like the joint that he runs is like a family joint. Oh, yeah. There goes the accent. Hello. It's his family fully immigrated from Ireland like back in the day, and they have lived in whatever the equivalent of Southie is since then. That's all of them tough as fucking nails.
That's great. Adding to that, I think I'm gonna throw this in because actually I was initially going to put in one complication, but I think a much different complication. Werewolves. Family of werewolves. Family of werewolves immigrated in from Ireland. Has been like, this is they are Murray's a werewolf. Murray's whole family is werewolves. It's family tradition. It's a family tradition. It makes holidays a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you understand how it goes.
Yeah, no, oh God. Oh, I just had a thought about, oh no, that's awful. I know plenty of Irish Catholics, and those holidays are chaotic as is. Add some werewolf nonsense in there, and that's just a nightmare.
Precisely. He loves it. To be clear, Murray thinks of his family get-togethers as the greatest times of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the complication here is like Murray, I think there's a little bit of a moment where you are able to like get Murray to make a connection, But I think the cost that I'm going to impose here is Murray is going to ask you why. Like, I think it is a Murray, like, I think you have been working for Murray long enough that he knows that this is not your usual scene. Like, this is not a job you would take unless there was something going on. And I think Murray is very intently asking questions about what is going on. Like, what is your reaction to that?
A bad person got their hands on something that will just make them worse. And they should not have it.
Enough said, kid. But I got to warn you about something.
Oh, God, what?
You do your business, you do your thing, you do your job, you do what you got to do. But know this. I protect this block, I protect this neighborhood. If, and he knocks on wood, something goes wrong, I got about 6 cousins who are going to come up and take care of business. So handle your shit, but make it quick, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll do my best, Murray.
And Murray is able to connect you. Murray is able to like make those connections. We do get the briefest shot of Murray like on the phone. I am putting a clock on the board because clocks are great. Murray's Southie Werewolf Gang is the clock. We put 4 ticks on it. I'm gonna mark one of those ticks. If that hits 4, Murray, the cousins that Murray has called will be rolling up and making the situation immediately escalate in a very hot way.
I mean, I understand that we probably don't want that, but that sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun. So you have been given, I think What it is, and I think the other complication that I'm hitting you at, the challenge that I'm hitting you with, I think you have been given a job interview.
Oh, Jesus.
With Fanu, owner of this establishment,
Jesus.
to see if you can clear, see if you can prove your worth as a bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
She is meeting you at the bar. She is meeting you at it's gotta be. It's a Dracula thing. I think it's gotta be peak drama, right? Like it's gotta be real forced drama.
Okay, so oh god, so if I'm assuming this person, if we were playing actual Vampire the Masquerade, this sounds like a fucking Toreador to the core.
Very much so. And I think this is
Hork.
It's the bar called Sanctuary. It is
Oh my god.
Insufferable. Sometimes you land on a decision and you're like, if I go more clever with this, I will lose the insufferable edge of the character. And I'm like, I gotta make this decision.
I hate her already, which will make this easier.
Invites you to Sanctuary for a job interview. I think it is 12 noon. It is 12 noon tomorrow. You got an interview.
Great. Cool. Naturally, there's a marked difference between running security at a crusty punk bar and running security for the hoi polloi. Mm-hmm. The crusty punk bar just wants you to be generally put together and have showered semi recently.
Yeah.
The hoi polloi expect head to toe black with a tie. For sure.
There's an aesthetic, and then that's part of the job interview.
So Max is gonna do it, but as they get dressed, I'm picturing they put the tie on and look in the mirror and have a shudder moment. Just
yep, absolutely
gross.
There's something I forgot to do, and that's to have you roll a move. This is a very important. Where's the elegy? Where are the elegy moves? We gotta roll. Let me find the exact mechanics, because this, which means that we also get to do the metal thing. We get a flashback moment to the agreement and the forging of an elegy. The elegy is the pact between vampires. It is the agreement of a job. It is the forging of a quest, or of a job, of a mission, of an agreement, of a promise. And there is among vampires very specifically, there is a ritual to that. And we see this ritual very specifically. Let me find it. This is where I say that this is edited, because I want to find the exact phrasing, or find the exact, here we go. It's right here. So you are singing an elegy. We have decided what it is. It is retrieve. I should give the hand a name, I feel like.
Hand of Cain.
Hand of Cain. There it is. Retrieve the Hand of Cain from Fanu. I'm going to set this as formidable, which means that it's going to have 10 notches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have assigned it a name. We have given it a rank to reflect how difficult it is. You are making this promise to a connection, so you're going to add +1, and then you're going to roll heart. So roll your 2d10 and compare it to your heart stat +1.
Nice. Okay. So I've got a 6 and an 8.
Okay. And your heart is
5.
All right, so that is a 6. So that is a ties always count. It's always got to be exceeded. So that is still a weak hit. So take +1 focus. Focus is a currency that you can use at any time to replace a die roll with that number. So you can always, or replace your action score with that number. So as you build, you'll be able to kind of steadily grow and save this currency until you're able to be like, this automatically counts as a 10.
Awesome.
Take a focus. I'm going to mark off 2 because you got the connection. So we'll mark off 1 progress for making the connection. You've got +1 focus. I think this sets up the job interview very specifically. And I think it's high noon. You're in this outfit. You arrive. You can tell, because you are military, that you are being not just recorded. I mean, recorded as well as vampires can be recorded.
Yeah.
That's a question for us, but not for this moment, because you are being watched in the rafters by two very ominous looking bodyguards.
Cool. No doubt.
And Fanu comes, Fanu, I think, is 5 minutes late to the interview.
Of course. And because I am who I am as a person, and all characters that I play have problems with authority, I'm going to look directly at both of those fucking bodyguards and do the sup homie, the nod.
Mm-hmm. And I actually think, I'm not even going to roll, I think that has an impact. I think there is, because I think improbably, there is you being clearly a bodyguard bouncer yourself, and you giving that nod. I think you see anyone else except for you would not notice the slightest softening in both of their posture. You specifically noticed the slightest head nod in return of sup.
I'm not fucking scared of you. Also, I know what you're doing here, fuckers.
But also, you showed them the slightest, I think it is very specifically, you can read this in their very small body language. They are so used to being completely overlooked and ignored that they're all right, yep, they get it. They're one of us. They get it. They've done this dance before.
Duh. I'm gonna have to work with them. I should probably acknowledge their existence. It ain't hard.
It ain't hard. And I think Fanu comes out full black and silver nightgown, already glass of wine, blood. You can't tell. You can't tell one or the other. Who can say what it is?
I'm gonna say it's a glass of Shiraz that is cut with oneg.
There it is. Perfect. Strolling out. Doesn't barely acknowledges you at first before finally coming up and kind of giving you the once over. Tie is slightly too loose. Puts out her hand to you to in that sort of dainty handshake manner.
Gonna adjust the tie, but then I will take the hand as is appropriate, ma'am.
So you're the new bouncer.
That's me.
Wonderful. Any experience covering high-profile events?
Yes. Frequent, but not the sort of thing I like to talk about.
Believe me, I wouldn't be interested in any answer longer than that. Any experience managing, how to phrase it, potentially rowdy, I would presume any bouncer, but any experience handling things with a degree of confidentiality and discretion?
Wouldn't have this job if I wasn't able to keep my mouth shut.
And she looks up to her bodyguards and just kind of half mouths it, but just with the slightest bit comes out this one. I like this one. I am throwing a soiree tonight of what I would say, it's a big night for us. It's a big night. A lot of movers and shakers in the city are coming by, and we'll need a little bit of extra security. You can see that normally, and she kind of lovingly throws up a hand, normally we're covered, but tonight in particular, it's going to be a very exciting and very big deal, and we need to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect. You understand.
Naturally.
Now, I don't mean to pry, but should the festivities go beyond bar bouncing, what is your background or comfort level with that sort of arrangement?
Max sort of clears their throat and squares their shoulders a little. Ex-Marine, ma'am.
Fabulous. Exactly what I was hoping for. One of them will give you the rundown, but be back here by 11 p.m. Party starts at midnight.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got to go pick out a different dress.
Thank you for your time.
Already gone by the time you say that. Like already physically and emotionally already like long gone, disappearing into the crowd.
I like to think that Max manages to keep from rolling their eyes until Fanu is like out of the room.
Yeah. I think the two bodyguards come down. I think comes down and then like waits for an uncomfortably long time, and then goes for like
I don't know what they're talking about.
Like I think fully just standing in front of you for like a just long enough that it's uncomfortable, and then like looks back and goes to give you the one arm hug, like goes to give you the like good job.
Yeah, no, fully goes for it.
Fully good job. She can be a lot. I think that comes across.
That's one way of putting it. That's the polite way of putting it.
That's how we put it when we're on the job.
Yeah.
Swing by, and I think shows you around the bar. You kind of see the back area. You see the kitchen area. It's a pretty standard layout, but there is there are two clear doors that they like gesture towards. One is Fanu's office, and the other is like a door to a basement. And they're like, we make sure that nobody goes in there, and points at her office. And he like kind of like dreads saying this other part. We make sure that when anybody goes in there, that they stay there until business is done. Capiche?
Capiche.
Party's going to be in the basement tonight. It's going to be apparently a whole thing. We're all going to be chill.
Great. Yeah. How long have you both been here?
Oh, I'm Brick, by the way. I've been here for, I don't know, a year or two.
Brick.
Roger's fairly new, but a couple months.
Yeah.
Kind of the second in command. I'm kind of the second in command, I guess. I mean, I'm the only bodyguard that's been here for longer than a month and a half.
What happened to the other ones?
Come back by around 11.
Brick,
anything,
Roger.
And I think like help yourself to a drink bar before you head out if you'd like. We got whatever. Drinks around the house as long as we're not actively working.
Yeah.
But I think like Brick like leans in real close. Whatever you see, you didn't see.
That's what we're paid for, right?
That's what we're paid for. See, this is why I think you might actually last longer than a month and a half.
Well,
and I think like they kind of like go off back in the direction of her office. Bartender makes you up your what is Max's drink of choice?
Honest to God, like give them a PBR and they're fine.
I think this hoi polloi like super fancy bartender is like washing a glass, has like a full arrangement of things. Here's you say that. Immediately, like her entire demeanor just like drops, and she's, oh, thank fucking Christ! Yeah,
just like old man beer.
Cracks the can, like oh my God, it's too early for me to make half of the drinks that people ask for. Thank you, I'm Clara. Thank you so much for this. I owe you one on top of the drink. Here you go.
Yeah, you got it, Clara. So. What is this a frequent thing with the lady of the house? These weird ass parties.
Give me a glamour roll. Give me a glamour roll at this moment.
Ooh, that's a 10 and a 7.
Okay. What's your glamour?
6.
Great. That is all right. Great. A miss. Good. Okay. Let's see what happens on a miss. I think. Oh, no, I know what it's got to be. Oh, yeah, no, okay, good. Here we go. There's the magic. She leans forward and she's like, yeah, I mean, parties are parties, but like I said during the interview, I think this is going to be an exceptional event. And you don't know when the fuck Fanu got behind you.
Jeez.
I think knock down your spirit by 1 point to plus
Got
4.
it. Okay, +4.
I think your spirit takes a hit very specifically because it is just fully a, oh shit. She's, I told you, like I said, this party is going to be exceptional. It is going to be one for the ages. And I think she stares at Clara, and Clara's like, I'm actually going to hit the back. I got to get some ice for the party tonight. And she is gone in an instant.
Right.
I appreciate an employee that is motivated and wants to learn more. But if you have questions, I'm the one to speak to.
Understood, ma'am.
She takes a sip, she takes another long sip, and is already like floating back off to floating back off to her office. And you are left completely alone in this bar, like several hours for the event. What is your prep before the party? Like, what's your game plan at this moment for getting the thing? Let's build out the game plan. I think because you have been hired, we'll mark another point of progress.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Here's the thing. I would be very surprised if the old man just put the muscle onto this little gig of his, because that seems like a really great way for things to go sideways very quickly. So it would make sense to me if there was someone who was actually going to be doing, I don't know, the sneaky hard shit.
Sure. Talk to me about, actually, I think that here's what I'm going to say. I think your impulse is right. You haven't been told this. And I think there's a degree of like finding that information that you've got to like dig in and like figure that out.
Amazing. Okay. So what would make the most sense would be to see what kind of ground plans are actually available for this whole damn bar.
And I think that's available. I think you've got that information in the dossier. I think the only information you don't have is if there's anyone else working the job. I think that feels right. Yeah. I think you've got a dossier with the floor plan and like profiles of various employees. Like, you've got that information. If you'd like, you can make an intellect roll, a glamour roll, or if you want to just like grab somebody, start shaking down answers that way, or track down an old contact and beat information out of them, I'll allow a force roll as well.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're gonna do a glamour roll to garner more information.
Sure.
About the expectations and what is it that is so damn special about this particular party. I mean, I know what's special about this party, but I want to know if Fanu has any particular plans for that hand tonight.
Give me a glamour roll +1 as you call the old man.
Okay. That's a 9 and an 8.
Okay. I think what you find is you can't get a hold of the old man. The old man is gone. You don't know where he is at this moment, but he is a ghost, even more so than usual. And I think like there is a moment where like as you're calling, you get back to your apartment and you see that same chipped wood on the door.
Oh my God.
You do the full routine of opening it. There is nobody inside. Chandler is rolling and doing little tricks, but like there is nobody inside. But that folder has been like torn to shreds. Like that folder has been poured over.
Great.
Somebody came in and saw that you were snooping and got information.
Oh, so I need to find the old man.
The old man is missing. Somebody, presumably Fanu or an associate, knows that you've got this inside information.
Okay, all right. Well, you can't exactly bail out now because that's just going to be hella messy. Oh my God. This is wild, Jeff.
I'm excited. This is great. This is kicking into high gear.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that I am appropriately kitted out for shit hitting the fan.
Yeah.
So that's gonna
full armoring up sequence.
Oh, yep. 100%. The boots become steel-toed. There may or may not be a layer of Kevlar under the button down, and in the pocket of the suit coat, brass knuckles.
Totally love it.
And I'm not super good at it, but if I'm gonna have to break into something, I'm gonna need a goddamn lockpicking kit. Great.
What's the first target on your list?
Shit.
And I think what I'll give you, I think the information that you've got on the dossier, you've got to give you a few different approaches you can choose from. You've got the layout of the bar. You've also got like basic information on Fanu. Like you feel like you've got Fanu's work address. You've also got like Fanu's address is not a secret. It's a lavish McMansion. But also you've got like names and addresses of Brick. I think like if you dig into as you kind of dig through the data and dig through the folder that someone else has also dig through, like Brick, Clara, a lot of their like names and addresses are like readily available information is also included in the dossier.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like Brick would be the most valuable contact here because we had an understanding.
Totally like that.
Yeah. And homie's also been around the longest.
Brick has been around long enough. His apartment is a top floor penthouse.
Jesus.
It's pretty nice. But like it looks like if somebody took the full contents of like a blue collar like bro apartment and like moved everything into like, so like it's all like sleek metal, like sleek gray marble floors and metal tile, but also like there's just like a big kind of ugly blend, like a big like ugly bullet blender is on top of it, is sitting there, and like like it's just like a dirty entertainment center that has clearly been moved from his old apartment. Like this is clearly somebody who like did not have money and then was handed the most money and is just like, I don't know, I like my stuff.
Yeah.
Are you breaking in? Are you calling ahead? What's the play?
No, I'm calling ahead.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna have you make a glamour roll here, and I think I'm gonna give you +1, and I'm gonna mark this as a connection very specifically because you've had this interaction with Brick.
Oh God, I just yeeted my dice onto the floor. Hold on.
Dice yeet, dice yeet.
Dice yeet. Okay. Okay, that's an 8 and a 9.
Okay. I think Brick. What's the play here? I think you call ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, because listen, you understand how these people work more than anybody at this point, mostly because you've been there the longest. I need a vibe, dude.
Come by the apartment and we'll talk.
Yeah.
And I think you come by the apartment and he is sitting in a chair with a shotgun pointed directly at the door as you walk in, and like does not pull the trigger, but has a clear sense of like, we need to have a real talk.
Brick, I thought we were becoming buds.
Yeah, but then I was ordered to break into your apartment and find a bunch of shit, and I'm not sure that we're starting on a note of friendship. I'm not sure we're starting on a note of solidarity.
No, apparently not. A little surprised that you would throw your lot in that hard with someone who thinks that little of you.
Oh, damn. That's a good line that I think like I'm not even good. I don't think that's a roll. I think that's what he needs to hear a little bit.
Worker solidarity, motherfucker.
I think he lowers the shotgun. Like, it's a hesitation. Like, he's looking around at his apartment. He's looking around at this thing, and he's like, fuck, I really have been given a good life, but, like, God damn it.
You know what she does, right?
Fuck. I mean, I don't go in the basement. I don't look in the basement for a reason.
Yeah. I know it's cushy. I know it's comfortable. I know clearly you are well kept. And that well kept is there's a little bit of venom there.
And like he at that moment looks at you, like narrows his eyes, or like lowers his sunglasses and narrows his eyes and goes, I'm going to count to 3 and you're going to jump directly to the right. 1, 2, 3.
Yeet.
Pulls the trigger, blasts the front door with a shotgun. Damn, they got away from me. I'm going to take one more shot. I got one more shell in this. I'm going to take a shot at the couch and you're going to jump to the left on 3. You got it?
Yep.
3. Pulls the trigger. You jump. Damn. Multiple shots. They just outmaneuvered me. Punch me in the face hard enough to leave a bruise, but not hard enough to give me a concussion.
You sure?
If you can't, how sure are you that you're gonna pull this?
Like at least 60%.
That's enough for me.
Yeah, okay. I'd cold cock him.
Goes flying across the room, slams into a wall, climbs up, rubbing the side of his face. It's the shiner of all shiners. Great, you overpowered me. All right, here's what we're gonna do. You tell me what you need and how much money is it going to cost, do you think, for me to disappear?
Well,
I'm not talking about a new life. I'm talking about a bus ticket. A bus ticket and nobody ever hears from me again.
That's reasonable.
That seems like a fair trade-off?
Sure does.
All right.
I'd hate to be responsible for you actually losing your head, Brick.
All right. What do you need? What do you need me to do to get you to fuck, I don't know, stop whatever's going to happen in that basement tonight?
I need her little prize.
Oh, fuck. I just really figured that was like some risk. She has a little bag that she's been carrying with her the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I really just figured it was like extra nice drugs.
No. It may or may not be a big deal, and considering how Fanu runs and who she runs with, it's the kind of thing that if they're allowed to hold on to it, shit's gonna get real rough real fast.
And she's been letting everybody know that she's holding on to it. I mean, she has been bragging about it, and there's no world where she brags that much and it's not the biggest deal that you've ever seen. I really, I don't know. I figured, but also I think maybe I was just wanting to figure that it was really nice drugs.
No. And you know, I'm gonna explain what she has, what she's holding, just so he understands the severity of the situation.
He is now fully seated back in a different chair as the sunglasses are on the floor. He is just like head in hands like, oh fuck, oh no, oh fuck.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Here's what I can do for you. I think we can work at a deal.
Yep.
But it's not going to be pretty and you're not going to like it.
No, I didn't expect I would.
I'm head of security. The other bouncers, the security guards will do what I say. I can get you full clearance, a clear pathway. We can lock off the basement so nobody gets out. And we can make sure that path to that doorway is clear. You just got to physically take that either when she's not looking or take it from her. I think that's the best I'm going to offer.
Great. Awesome. Great. She already doesn't like me, so I might as well make it worse.
Look, I wish I could do more, but like I'm pretty sure that if I send anybody in there to take that bag directly, that's a death sentence.
Yeah.
You probably are the only person in this situation that I trust to like actually take this from her.
Yeah. I don't super care where it ends up, just not with them. All right. Yeah. Just keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and hopefully we can get through this without dying.
I think we can work with this.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we cut to her office. Like, I think we see the full sequence, right? We see Brick come in. He's got the earpiece in. He's directing people. We see him lock eyes with you. We see they look over at Clara. Clara is like running drinks, handing drinks off to people to run drinks to the basement, and is doing everything she can to like move the party to the basement. She's slipping people notes to make sure that everyone is locked inside of that basement.
Mm-hmm.
Roger, who we have not really interacted with here, is just thrilled to be here.
He's just here.
He's just here. He's having a great time. This is a really exciting job opportunity. And you are now inside of her office, and I think like she is let me ask you that. I'm going to ask you this because I think this is a strategy thing as much as a narrative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to go in when she's not there and making a dexterity roll for quickness, or are you going in when she's in the room?
We're going to do a dexterity roll for quickness.
Okay. See if you can get in unnoticed.
Okay. So my dexterity is 6. Okay.
I'm gonna give you a +1 here because of the I'm gonna give you a +2 here because of the situation. I think there's enough factors working in your favor that this is an 8.
Okay. So my dexterity is actually an 8?
Yeah, you got an 8 for this roll because there's enough stuff working in your favor.
Okay. Shit, that's a 9 and a 6.
Okay, that's a weak hit. Okay. You're able to get in. Good. That's a success with a complication. You are able to get in. I think like there's a moment where you cross paths with Fanu, and she kind of like locks eyes with you, kind of gives you a once over and goes, "Oh, you fixed your tie. Nice. I appreciate that. We might rehire you yet," and like drifts off. Like it's that real tense moment that gets immediately diffused. She drifts off. Brick kind of gives you the nod to get in there. You get in there. The bag is right there. There is a crusty old hand inside.
Gross.
It's so gross. It's even grosser. It's even grosser when it starts whispering to you. Like it's weird. It's nasty.
No.
You get the bag. Get the bag in hand so you don't make a direct contact with it.
Yeah. Like I feel it's the kind of thing where like if there is a pencil on the table, I am taking the pencil and like looping it through the loops on the bag because I don't even want to touch the goddamn bag.
For sure. You've got the bag. You've got a pencil with the hand inside, and you turn around just in time for the randomly selected power that I have landed on. I'm going to mark this as 3 more progress. 1 because you got Brick on your side. 1 because you infiltrated the party. 1 because you got a hold of the hand. You are at 6 progress. You turn around. I've randomly landed on a power. All of the doors in here lock. Everything. Electronic devices malfunction for 1 minute because of technomancy.
Oh, ass.
The door locks behind you. All the lights turn on and like a screen pops up. Naughty, naughty, naughty. I don't like my things being taken, especially when they are the main event of my grand party.
Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't take shit that doesn't belong to you in the first place, lady.
And she starts to mumble like, well, I was going to say finders keepers, but I guess that technically, I mean, respect where respect is due. That does make it yours. I guess that just means I'm going to have to rip this door open and kill you.
Cool.
And you can hear her drifting. Yeah. What do you got to do? What are you doing?
I want to kick the goddamn door open.
Give me a force roll.
And I want to do it so it'll slam into her.
Give me a force roll. You actually might have their power might come into play here. Let me look at Buff here.
Hold on.
When you perform a feat of supernatural strength, you may sacrifice blood to gain an equal amount of bonus to your roll. So your blood is +5. If you want to lower that number, you can instantly raise up your force accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll take 2 out of that.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
Give me that roll.
Okay. Wait a minute. I might be looking at this wrong.
What do you got?
I've got an 8 and a 6.
Great. That's a strong hit.
Cool.
This door goes flying off the hinges, and I will say even further, it goes flying off the hinges into Fanu.
Good.
And she goes flying, and there is a moment of like, oh, is that it? And then suddenly, in a spray of mist that forms around the door, she is standing in front of it. Well, that was rude.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of the worst.
You said it, I didn't. The bag, please.
Decidedly not. Is there a window?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Can I jump out of it?
Give me a force roll.
That's 8 and an 8.
8 and an 8. Now you have 3 blood left if you want to supercharge. Your force is 7.
Yeah. Let's fuck it. Let's supercharge it.
You supercharge it.
We're doing a one shot.
You spend 2 more blood. And this is a match, which I'm glad that this came up because this is a mechanic that I love. You have rolled a match, which makes this a critical success. Which means like a thing happens. And I know exactly what that thing happens. I realized I set a clock earlier. Fuck the clock. It is filled up instantly. You grab the hand. You burst forth. I'm marking 2 more progress immediately, and then we'll roll on this progress thing momentarily. But you grab the hand. You jump out of a window. And as that happens, the door outside gets knocked down. There's a moment where you are late. So we get the full, you look back, 7 of the most feral looking were creatures you've ever seen are tearing through everything. And one of them looks a real red werefox just looks up at you and just goes, I'll see you on Tuesday. Monday I have you on off on Monday.
Yeah, all right.
Great. Before immediately grabbing one of these other vampires and ripping a throat out.
Solid.
The Southie werewolves have flooded the building. You have retrieved the hand. Roll. Now we're going to make one final roll. This is before we have the closing beat of the story.
Yeah.
Roll me 2d10 to compare it to your progress track. That is how you have done at fulfilling the elegy. So roll me that and compare it. Your score here is an 8. That's the number you want. You want to roll under an 8.
I got a 5 and a 4.
There it is. A complete success. You have retrieved the hand of Cain from Fanu. We get one final beat of, I think, oh, you know what's actually like the most, you know what the most fucked is?
Yes. Give.
The old man is at your apartment.
Of course he is.
He's never in any date. Like the old man is at your apartment and fully, it was just waiting for you. Chandler again on his lap is just like, you got my hand?
Does he still have his fucking feet on my coffee table?
You got one boot on your coffee table.
I'm going to kick that boot off of the coffee table, but then I'm going to drop the bag with the hand in his lap.
Check your bank account in 48 hours. You know, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Fuck you, sir.
Understood? I won't go into the sales pitch this time. And I think like he kind of quietly walks off. He pauses for a moment, reaches into his pocket, throws another piece of bacon back at Chandler, and walks off. And you are left sitting and still wondering if maybe there is how is Max feeling at this moment to answer the big question of finding structure in your life outside of the military?
I think there's a resistance to going back into whatever it is that the old man has wrapped himself up in. Because it's kind of the same old.
Mm-hmm.
But this seems to actually be doing something worthwhile.
And I think we get like the slightest beat of the old man like standing with several like other shadowed vampires, like they're not on the team. We can't count on them for a job. That one was a personal favor. And that is game. That was so much fun. Thank you so much for playing this.
That was dope. I really like this game. I might have to take a closer look at it.
I think this game is dope. I love it. I really love it as a solo. Like it's built on, like it's barely built for like so you can run it really easily with solo play for how it runs and like the specific ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
And there's all these optional, like the world building that we did. That listener you can hear on Patreon. The world building that we did. So much of it like unlocks different modules that it's like if you answered this, use the lineage rules that are on this page. So you're really building your specific kind of vampire story in the exact way that we did. This was so much fun.
Oh,
this was a blast. What was your favorite moment from play?
Like honestly, like building out Fanu and just how truly awful she was. That was really satisfying.
That was really satisfying. I really loved. I wasn't sure where to go with the bodyguard characters, and finding that solidarity with Brick was so satisfying.
That was fun. I mean, you know what? I'm feeling some type of way after the past like week or so. So I'm sure you understand. I understand.
Yeah. That was magnificent. Thank you so much for playing this with me. Before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, once again, folks, you can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. You can find me all over the internet, usually as some iteration of _ Laura Tutu. That's on a Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, for however long that damn app lasts. And 9 times out of 10, you'll see me rolling dice with the fine folks over at Queen's Court Games, specifically lots of vampire things, including our multi-award-winning Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, the All Night Society, which is on break while dear Aaron recovers from a minor surgery. When I'm not there, I'm with the fine folks at Folk and Myth. We will be doing more vampire things in 2025, including a Sabbat Chronicle that I'm really excited about because, God, I love the Sabbat. Playing monsters is my new favorite thing. And
it's good.
Last but not least, the fine folks over at Obsidian Brews are the all black tabletop collective where we tell stories for the culture. We've got some fun stuff coming in 2025. I'm going to make them play more vampire. That's my goal.
Hell yes. I love to hear all of this. Thank you again. This was so much fun. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show.
Future Jeff.
Thanks, Bass Me, and thanks again to Laura for coming on the show. That game fucking ruled. Like, the world that we built was so big and exciting and weird and took the idea of vampires in such, like, strange and interesting directions. And, like, getting to explore that space was so cool and exciting. I had the best time with it. This really was exactly what I was hoping to get out of the entire experience. Be sure to pick up your own copy of Elegy at miraclem.itch.io. Be sure to check the show notes for links to everything that Laura's got going on, and be sure to follow Laura on social media at lauratutu.qcg.social. You can also find us on pretty much whichever social media you prefer at Party of One Pod or Jeff Stormer, depending. And if you enjoy the show and you want to support it, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/partyofonepodcast. And join our Discord community at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. Or if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano Saez. We take a listener submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.